Twilight hears the narrator. Written by Stratocaster. It was a perfectly ordinary sunny day in the town of Ponyville. The humble pony folk were out about tending their daily business, and life couldn't be more quaint. Twilight Sparkle walked in with a spring in her step back home to the Friendship Castle. She had just received a new authentic book on conjuration spells, and... Hello? She suddenly stopped and peered upward. Hello? Who are you? She asked, looking quite confused. Well, I'm the narrator of this story. Narrator? What are you talking about? Twilight looked around. Where are you? Don't worry about it, okay? Just carry on with your day. Twilight paused with suspicion. All right then. She then continued trotting. A few days ago, Twilight has received a test charged by Princess Celestia to uncover the spells used by many wizards and alchemists of the medieval era. She was rather excited to get to work on. Are you a ghost? She stopped in her tracks again and looked up. Excuse me? If I can hear you, but can't see you, then you must be some kind of spirit. Am I right? I'm not a ghost, alright? I told you, I'm the narrator. The narrator of what? This story. What story? She grew impatient. The story involving your life? Is this some kind of practical joke? Twilight darted around, aggravated. Is Rainbow up to this? If she's hiding in a cloud somewhere, I swear I will. Look, there's no prank going on. Ugh. I don't know how you can hear me all of a sudden, but just try to ignore me. Got it? It's kind of hard to ignore a strange voice coming from nowhere. She rolled her eyes. And how do you know everything I'm doing? Because I'm the narrator. That still doesn't explain anything. She shouted in outrage. Quit it! Yikes, Twilight. Who are you talking to? Asked Rainbow, swooping down from above. Rainbow, said Twilight. You can hear him, can't you? Hear who? She replied. The narrator? He keeps commentating on everything you do and says things after you're done speaking. Like, she said. Rainbow stared at Twilight as if she had grown another head. Is this some kind of inside joke I don't know about? She asked. I get pretty steamed when I'm not let on a joke. Oh, come on, Rainbow, urged Twilight. If I can clearly hear him, then you must too. Are you feeling alright, Twi? Queried Rainbow. You're talking pretty crazy. Ugh! I'm not crazy! Replied Twilight. He's there! I'm telling you! Look, Twilight. Rainbow backed up, a bit unnerved. I think you've just been reading those spells too much. Maybe you should relax for a while. But I, got something to do. So, feel better. See ya! Rainbow then flew off in a hurry. Twilight looked back up at the sky with a glare. Do you see what you did? She scolded. You made me seem like a lunatic in front of my friend. Don't blame me. You're the one barking at the wind. Whatever. Twilight stormed off. Maybe I am working too hard. Twilight entered the newly refurbished living room, dropping her bag and plopped onto the couch, rubbing her eyes as if she was annoyed by a constant joining noise. After a while, she had grown quite accustomed to her new crystal home. She had been busy filling it with a large collection of books, and... Will you give it a rest already? She shouted in the air. And how do you know so much about my life? Twilight? Who are you yelling at? Spike appeared, having been awoken from his afternoon nap. Spike? Am I crazy? Asked Twilight. Well, yes, but you could be worse, Spike replied. Why do you ask? Twilight let the comment slide and explained. Just earlier, I started to hear this annoying voice, narrating everything I do. And he keeps following me, it seems. I don't suppose you've heard of anything like that? A voice? Not really. Is he saying anything now? He asked. There! Right now! She pointed. He just said, he asked, right after you spoke. Oh, that's weird. The dragon scratched his head. I wonder why he can see me, but I can't see or hear him. Right? Replied Twilight. So you actually believe me? Twi, I seen some pretty crazy stuff with you and the girls, Spike scoffed. not much surprises to me anymore. Well, I think I might have an idea what's going on, Twilight said. I started hearing the narrator just after I received this conjuring book from Princess Celestia. If I didn't know any better, I say this book comes with a curse. Curse? Bugged Spike. Yes, she nodded. It's possible that I've been joined by a spirit who dwells within this book. You mean a ghost? Spike suddenly panicked. Nuh-uh, no way, I ain't dealing with a ghost. Way too scary. Spike, I'm pretty sure you dealt with ghosts at least twice before, Twilight discerned. Spirits, be gone! Spike then proceeded to light an incense candle and wave it above his head. Be gone from this castle! This is my soul! You can't have it! I'm not gonna let you haunt me! He dashed out of the living room in a frenzy. Spike, wait! Called Twilight. And what makes you think I came from your book? Twilight looked up. Well, what other explanation is there? I bet you're really the spirit of the last owner of this book. I bet that you cast a spell that will serve your soul within the pages. You keep telling yourself that. It's not like anybody else will believe you. We'll just see about that. She then pondered for a moment. Maybe Rainbow and Spike couldn't hear you because they don't know magic. I should just talk to a unicorn. This isn't part of the story planned. I don't know what that means, but I don't care. Twilight insisted and trotted off. I'm going to see what my friend Rowdy has to say about you, whoever you are. Fine, you do that. As she left the castle, Spike poked her head back into the room. Wait, did you say Rarity? He called at No Pony. Tell her I love her! Wait, no, don't tell her that! Tell her that I'm thinking of her! You know, it's like it's no big deal! Twilight made her way over to the Carousel Boutique in an urgent pace. Upon arrival, she knocked on the door with her large, meaty hooves. What did you just say? She glared. Oh, sorry. Too much fun at your expense? You know darn well my hooves aren't meaty. Twilight, were you speaking just now? Came Rarity's voice as she opened the door. Oh, Rarity, said Twilight. There's something I need to ask you about. Have you been hearing any strange voices lately? Whatever do you mean? Asked Rarity. You know, some unseen pony narrating every move you make, every word you say, she urged. Good heavens, Twilight, gasped Rarity, looking around past her friend. Is there some pony stalking you? Show yourself, you scoundrel! I will not let you hound my friend! Well, that's not entirely false. Twilight scratched her mane. But I don't think any pony's physically following me. Well then, what's going on, dear? My theory is that there's some kind of magic spirit that can see everything we do, Twilight explained, and only unicorns can pick up his voice. I was hoping that you would be able to hear him too. I'm sorry, Twilight, but I have never heard anything of the sort. Rarity then looked a bit embarrassed. Oh, perhaps I'm not just as good at magic as you are to understand? Twilight pondered. Maybe you just need to hone in on my magic aura. Do you mind if I come in? Not at all. Rarity allowed her friend inside and had her sit on the couch in the lounge. Why don't I get you some tea? She offered. This seems awfully perplexing. You have no idea, Twilight said. As soon as her designer friend left into the kitchen, Twilight took time to gather focus for her magic energy, as she looked around at the gaudy decor of the boutique. Hey! Rarity's home isn't gaudy, she sneered. You really shouldn't insult ponies who can't hear you. And just how you plan to stop me? As soon as I figure out who you are, she glowered. Rarity quickly returned with a tea tray. How exactly did you come by this spirit, Twilight? She asked. I think he manifested himself from the spellbook I was given, she explained. Now for some reason, he just seems to keep following me without the book. What do you suggest we do? Rarity sat next to her on the couch. I know a spell that can allow us share a magic aura. Twilight looked at her. Normally, this is used to engage in group spells, but I think it can help reveal the spirit to you. I'll do whatever it takes to help, Twilight. Rarity smiled sweetly. All right. If you're ready, close your eyes. The room grew silent as both Twilight and Rarity faced each other and shut their eyes. Slowly and carefully, Twilight harnessed the power of magic aura and concentrated until it began to envelop her and her friend. The bright purple cloud of magic energy held for several moments as Rarity focused as hard as she could, then the aura slowly dissipated. and the two mares opened their eyes. "Well?" asked Twilight. "Do you hear him?" I can't tell." "Here, I'll help." Twilight got up. "You should hear him now." With a sort of giddiness, Twilight sprang from the couch to the middle of the floor and began dancing erratically. She began with a strange, jumping shuffle and then moved into an awkward form with the Charleston and the jitterbug. Then she moved more into a disco, proceeding with the hustle, the robot, and a roller skate dance without roller skates. She finally concluded with a clumsy slide on her knees and stopped, panting heavily. "There! You heard his voice, right? Telling everything I did?" She breathed heavily. "You understand now, right?" Rarity stared at her for a moment, a bit shocked. "Twilight, I do understand perfectly well now." "Really?" beamed Twilight. "I understand that you're awfully sick, and it's affected your brain." "What?" Rarity suddenly sprang up and wrapped her hooves around her confused friend like a concerned mother. "Oh, you poor, poor thing! All this work with Magic Spellbook has butt strain on your sweet head. You need some immediate rest and relaxation." "Rarity, I don't think you—" Twilight couldn't get a word in, as she was immediately dragged up at an alarming speed. Within seconds, Rarity carried her with surprising strength all the way to the Ponyville Spa. She approached the twin others urgently. "Aloy! Lotus! My friend is terribly ill and she needs full treatment." "Rarity, I'm not sick in the head," protested Twilight, being lifted up. "I really do hear a voice." "I'm sure you do, darling," Rarity sympathized. "But don't you fret. You'll get rid of that bad voice in no time." Without hesitation, Aloy and Lotus hauled the confused Alicorn off to a separate room and dropped her into a mud bath. They then applied a slimy mud mask to her face and a pair of cucumber slices to her eyes. "I don't really think this is necessary," groaned Twilight. "Never you worry, Twilight," said Rarity from the door. "Just let that relaxation melt your troubles." She turned into the Spa twins, leaving her alone. Poor girl. She thinks she's being followed by a ghost. An awkward silence fell as Twilight laid on the therapeutic mud, unsure whether to get out or not. Her confused little mind couldn't wrap itself around the situation she found herself in. "Stop pretending like I can't hear you," she scorned as she removed her cucumbers. "You've just been causing trouble so far." "Yeah, I don't think I could do that at the moment. Evidently, I am not a ghost. I never seen that spellbook in my life." "So then, who are you?" she persisted. "How many times do I have to make this clear? I'm the narrator." Ugh! Twilight slumped back in the bath, aggravated. Then she considered something. "Maybe you really are just in my head. Maybe you're just a fragment of my imagination." "Could be, although I assure you, I am quite real." "Real or not, I am not having an invisible pony narrating me all my life," Twilight grumbled. "Who says I'm a pony? I could be a griffin, or a dragon, or a minotaur, or a cow, or some kind of species that you can't even imagine. There are more possibilities than I can count on my hooves." "Hooves? So you are a pony?" "Shut up." That's when a conniving smile crossed Twilight's face. "Say, you're a male, aren't you?" Duh. Do I sound like a filly to you?" "Would you say that you would be kind enough to give a lady her privacy?" she asked, knowingly. "What are you talking about?" Twilight then got up out of the mud and stood. "If you don't mind," she said with a smug smile, "I have to use the little filly's room to wash off this mask. You don't mind waiting out here, do you?" "Damn it!" "It'll just be a minute," she lied, as she entered the mayor's bathroom by the baths. "Ah, great. Alright, here we go. Gotta keep the magic alive." "Stupid narrator. Thinks he's so clever. Follow me like some kind of parasite." Twilight grumbled as she stood at the sink to splash water on her face. "What the— Are you kidding me?" "Listen here, princess. You can't keep me from doing my job. I'll follow you to the ends of Equestria if I have to. So why don't you just try to deal with it for Celestia's sake?" Wait a minute. Twilight gained an idea. Princess Celestia! If anybody can dispel this whole thing, it's her. She's the one who gave me that conjuring book in the first place. Where are you going with this? To Canterlot, that's where. She smiled determinedly, prepared to leave the spa. Some pony as powerful as Princess Celestia must be powerful enough to believe you're real. And if she doesn't, well, here's mud in your eye. Twilight glowered. You know, you may be a narrator, but you should probably leave the puns alone. Fair enough. After drying the mud off, which did barely anything to help her relax, Twilight flapped her wings and set off for Canterlot Castle, feeling as though it would help her situation. She brought along the spellbook in her bag, protecting it with its rough leather binding and yellow parchment pages. She finally arrived at the pristine castle, after nearly clumsily flying into a zeppelin along the way. Hey! Cut it out! She scolded. Well, it's true. Twilight entered the castle and walked through its hollowed corridors, until finding the graceful Sun Princess relaxing in the lounge reading, with a cup of tea. Why, hello, Twilight, greeted Celestia, putting down her copy of the Cloudsdale Underground. I assume you've enjoyed that conjuring book I sent you? Actually, Princess Celestia, said Twilight, scratching her head, that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. Do you happen to know who owned this book last? Celestia pondered for a moment. I believe it was written by Starswirl the Bearded many centuries ago, she said, but I think he left it unfinished and became long forgotten. Why do you ask? Well, promise you won't think I'm lying, or crazy, she asked hesitantly. After everything you put up with in the past, smiled Celestia, I completely trust you, my young friend. Okay, well, ever since I received this book from you, I've been hearing this strange voice commentating everything I do or say, Twilight explained. He calls himself the narrator, and apparently, he'd be able to respond whenever I acknowledge him. I tried explaining this to a couple of my friends, but they didn't believe me. It could just be my imagination, but I swear this has to do something with the book. Celestia paused to think about the problem. You know, I read cases like this before. Seriously? Gawed Twilight, elated that the princess actually believed her. It's certainly nothing common, explained Celestia, but there have been a few instances of unicorns delving in occult spells, who as a result possessed or followed by a presence of a spirit. You must have accidentally resurrected one. But that's the thing, replied Twilight. I only looked through a few pages of the book, but never used to any of the spells inside. So I think the spirit must have some kind of connection with the book. Curious, Celestia said. Well, I can tell you you're certainly not lying, Twilight, because I too feel an obscure presence around your aura. Say what? You can sense him? Beamed Twilight. Faintly, but yes, Celestia nodded. She then walked over to a fireplace mantle and levitated a small trinket. It was a small glass container decorated with brass supports. Fortunately, I might know of a spell that can extract the spirit from your presence, Twilight. It can make this narrator's soul become visible and placing him on this vial. Whoa, wait a minute. This isn't supposed to happen. Do you think it will work, Princess? Asked Twilight. Have faith, my young pupil, grinned Celestia. I've dealt with mysterious spirits before. Now just let me charge my magic. Oh no, you don't. Concentrating on her yellow aura, Celestia cast it upon Twilight on the process of her spell. For several moments, the aura enveloped the young alicorn and her silhouette seemed to be changing form. Finally, the aura dissipated and left Twilight just the same, except for a pair of white feathered rings, sharp talons, and a beak. "Paka!" said Chicken Twilight. "Oh dear!" gasped Celestia. "That's not supposed to happen." Again, Celestia recharged her magic, and tried to spell it again to both change her student back to normal, and to get rid of her so-called spirit. But instead, all the spell did was replace her chicken features with slimy green skin, long springy legs, and a wide gaping mouth. "Ribbit," said Frog's Twilight. "That's not right either." Celestia tried once more to cast a spell. This time, Twilight was transformed entirely into a purple bison. "What's happening?" she panicked. "Something is wrong, Twilight," Celestia told her. "There's some kind of force interfering with my magic. I'll have to give it more strength." She charged up her magic again. but the spell only shrunk Twilight to the size of a doll. Princess Celestia, please, stop! Hold on. This spear is more powerful than I thought. Celestia began to sweat as she tried to pull the spell again. This time, Twilight was changed completely into Applejack. How in tarnation did I get here? Another attempt, and Applejack was quickly replaced by Trixie. The great and powerful Trixie demands an expel. And then the president was taken over by Big Macintosh. Nope. After many more attempts, Twilight was eventually left with 7 extra wings, 3 extra horns, a tail 10 meters long, and mismatched colored eyes. It's not working! She cried as she bolted out of the castle. Twilight, wait! Called Celestia. As she ran out of the castle, the extra appendages disappeared off of Twilight, and she stopped to gather her breath. Oh man, you should have seen your face. Wait, that was you? She glared. How dare you interfere with a princess's magic? Please, I'm not gonna let any pony stuff me into a bottle. Not even your ruler can get rid of me. Oh yeah? Well, I got a little backup plan, she said, determined. Twilight then produced another book from her bag. Let's see how well you narrate me when I'm the one doing the narrating. Oh, this ought to be good. You have no idea what I'm capable of, sweetheart. We'll see. Twilight opened a page in her novel and read aloud. Daring Do emerged from the downed airplane miraculously and unharmed, but her troubles weren't over yet, as she immediately found herself surrounded by the natives of the Warhorse Island, readying their spears and darts. But Daring knew full well that they were after the sacred stone of fire, and she quickly grabbed it from beneath the rubble. After staring down at her foes, Daring leaped into a nearby river, as the natives hurled their weapons in her direction. Suddenly, Twilight put her book down and began to don a French maid's outfit. What the? Where did this come from? I can't control my body. Really, Twilight, it suits you. Make it stop! She screamed and quickly removed the costume. She gave a heavy, disdained sigh. There is really no beating you, is there? She groaned. Not by a long shot. Even more disgruntled, Twilight sat and her head hung low at the table at Sugar Cube Corner. Usually a vanilla hayshake with cookie crumbles was enough to cheer her up after a hectic day, but somehow it wasn't doing the trick this time. Gee, I wonder why, she sulked. Hey, Twilight, said Pinkie, coming from behind the counter. Who are you talking to? I'm not even gonna bother explaining, Twilight groaned. Oh wait, you mean that narrator ghost on your head? The pink pony jumped. Yeah. Call me crazy and get her out of your system, she replied. Oh, don't worry, Twi. I don't think you're crazy. Pinkie joined her. In fact, I hear him too. Twilight beamed. You do? Seriously? Yeah, he narrates everything I do and say as well, Pinkie said. Pinkie, that's such a relief, grinned Twilight. And I thought I was the only one. It must be your Pinkie senses or something. Twilight, please. He's trying to say something to me, urged Pinkie. Oh, sorry? A pause was left as Pinkie looked up and nodded in listening. Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, really? He did not. That is so true. They all really do look like that. Pinkie? He's not saying anything to you, Twilight discerned. Shh, Twilight, glared Pinkie. I really wish you wouldn't interrupt. It's hard enough to understand him with his French accent. French accent, she replied. He doesn't have a quiet. Pinkie then talked into the air. I'm sorry, Jacques. Some ponies can be so rude. It was then that Twilight realized that the goofy pink mare was not at the same level as her. With a heavy sigh, Twilight placed money on the table and left the baker in her own little world. You know, I'm glad you finally settled down, Jacques, said Pinkie. You seem much happier now with your husband. I don't know why I bother, Twilight muttered to herself as she stepped outside. Sparkle? Oh, stop it. I know she can't hear you. She stomped her big mannish hoof in a hissy fit. Alright, that's it. Shut up! I do not care who you are, or what you are, or why you're in my head, but just go away! I do not want to hear your stupid, annoying voice anymore. All you've done is call me trouble and embarrassment. You're just a nuisance. Please just do me one kind favor and get out! I don't want you! I don't need you! No pony needs you! Well, okay then. If that's how you feel. Wait a minute. That was too much. I didn't want to sound mean. I just... No. I hear what you're saying. I've overstayed my welcome. You deserve your space. I'll just go. Narrator, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Narrator? Are you there? Hello? Oh dear. Twilight? Are you alright? Oh hey Fluttershy. It's kind of a long story. Is it about your narrator? So you heard about that too, huh? You probably think I'm nuts as well. Not at all, Twilight. I may not understand as well, but I can try my best to. What's wrong? You look awfully distraught. Is the narrator saying something now? Well, that's just it. I lost my temper. I yelled at him, and he just disappeared. I think I may have offended him, but I thought you didn't like him very much. He was annoying and pesky, yes, but now that I think about it, he was just another soul. I thought he was just some supernatural prank or curse, but now that I realize that he actually has feelings, and I should be glad that he's gone, but somehow, I'm not. Ever so, what would I say? That I'm actually okay with him commenting on my every action? Just talk to him like a real pony. If he's able to feel hurt, I'm sure he's able to forgive. Just tell him what you really feel. I'm sure he's intelligent enough to understand. Well, maybe you're right, Fluttershy. I'll try talking to him. Ahem. Narrator? Are you there? Look, I want to hear your voice again. If you're there, can you speak to me? What is it? Are you eating something? I made a sandwich. What do you want? Look, narrator, I can't say I'm not annoyed by what you do, but then again, I can't even understand why you're here, or how. Maybe it's not easy being a narrator of some pony's life. I think perhaps I'll let you stay in my head. I can get to understand you better. Who knows? We might even become friends. I thought I was just a nuisance. I'm sorry. That was wrong for me to say. It's just that whenever I come across an issue that I cannot understand or get a hold of, I start to overreact. I can't handle not knowing the source of a problem, and it drives me crazy. But this doesn't have to be a problem. If you understand me in my life, maybe I can get to know you in your life. It may take some time getting used to, but I don't think I'll mind having you around as long as you need. So, what do you say? Hello? Narrator? Come on, don't leave me hanging. She called out with her sweet prissy voice. Twilight stretched a smile across her pretty young face. Well now, what's with the compliments all of a sudden? She blushed. Well, I figured that if I want to be a narrator, I have to be a gentle about it. To be honest, I'm sorry for teasing and toying with you. Sometimes, this job gets stressful. I can imagine, Twilight said, but hopefully, I can get to understand. If you'd like to stick around for a while, she fluttered her purple eyes as a knowingly matter. You know something? You know something? I could have been destined to narrate any pony's life. Any ordinary Joe in Equestria. But you, Twilight? I wouldn't have done it any other way. I don't think there's any pony out there who's experienced as many interesting stories as you have. It's like your whole life is worthy of retelling. So really, there's no pony else I would rather narrate than you. Twilight looked away and blushed. That's actually pretty sweet. But I'm not really that special. I beg to differ, Princess. What do you have on tap for tomorrow? Why are you asking me? She winked. You should know all about it. Ah, yes, good point. Twilight has been preparing for a long excursion tomorrow with Princess Luna to find an ancient relic of the Crystal Empire. With a spring in her step, she trotted off into a non-managed hooves back home and to get a shut-eye. Tomorrow, she will hold more twists and turns for her life, It seems that every day that this humble yet extraordinary mayor was just another great story. The end. Wait, what? Hey guys, Snogwritts here. Congrats for making it to the end of the video. Wow, I definitely enjoyed this story and I loved reading it, and I hope you did too. Okay, now that we're done with the reading, I want to give some thoughts on this fic. Okay, so here's this. The story is really great. It has a very unique plot and a great and well thought ending. Although, in my opinion, I felt like there's some moments that are bland, and they just kind of felt the same, like only like one or two scenes. Not entire fic, but like, it's usually just my opinion. And I was thinking maybe the author could have been a little more creative with the story, and maybe do a little more with it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, let's wrap up this video. This is actually my first dub, so feedback will be deeply appreciated in the comments below. And I just want to thank you guys for 20 subscribers. Oh my god, I was really happy about these 20 subscribers. You guys have been very supportive, and I just really appreciate you all like my content, and I will continue to make more for the future. And I thank you guys for helping me grow my channel. Really, you guys are awesome. So I guess that's pretty much it. So I'll be leaving here, and I'll see you all in the next video. This is Snogwritts signing out.